Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, JT Open Stuff. Today, guys, we are going to be taking a look at some of these new Skibidi mods. Now, I saw these today in my local Walmart, thought they looked really kind of funny, and I really like the idea of the way some of these figure lines have now where you can kind of build and customize your figures. So to see these was really, really neat. Now, these are labeled as 13 plus. I'm pretty sure that probably has to do with the content they're based on as much as the toys, but you can build, customize, and create. So as you can see there, TV Man, which we have here, right there, and then Cameraman. Now I think it's interesting that they just give the kind of the shadow of it there, but you can see right on the front who it is. So really kind of interesting. Give you guys a quick look at that. Very, very neat. This is from Bonkers Toys, so very cool. But I want to go ahead and open these up for you guys today, just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. If you're into Skibidi, then you could go on out and pick some of these up for yourself, hopefully. And to be honest with you guys, about a year ago, I'd say, is when I first opened my first Skibidi toilet on the channel. I didn't know how the video would do, didn't really know how many people were really into it. I quickly came to find out that there are a ton of people into Skibidi toilet. And to be honest with you, I thought it might be something that would just be kind of a passing craze and be kind of a one and done toy. But here we are a year later and new Skibidi toys are on the shelf. So kudos to the fan base for supporting, their favorite, I guess, series, if you want to call it. For it to continue to be that popular, to bring more toys out, you guys are doing great. So congratulations. Now, while I'm opening this guy up, guys, will you do me the big honor of going down and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already? It is the best way to support the channel. And while you're there, go ahead and click that notification bell and you'll never miss one of my great toy opening videos. And why are they great? Because I'm opening toys with you. All right, so here we go. This is the Cameraman, and his legs are a little bit loosey-goosey right there, but big feet, so easy with the stand test like that. In fact, I'm pretty sure you could make him do push-ups. He might even, he can even do a handstand without anything. That is hilarious. But inside the package, we get that plunger. We have, looks like a jetpack. A blaster. Now that doesn't look like it actually blasts anything. And then we have this. It's like a little connector of sorts. This piece right here. It's kind of interesting. There's two of those actually. And then this little blaster right here. So very, very cool. I absolutely love the look of it. Now it doesn't, maybe one of the reasons they did that is so you could build it the way you want to. I'm not sure, but it's very, very interesting. It does have little ports all over the place. So really you could put the weapons and things wherever you wanted. So like on this one, I'm gonna use this space to maybe put these little pegs right here. Would that work? Kind of put those on his shin as like little shin guards. That's kind of cool. They could also go, I guess, like up here if you wanted to. Let's see. Yeah, you could put them like right there. You could put them there. It's very, very interesting. Now, you see how loose this is. Now, he absolutely is interchangeable with almost everything. I think it just completely comes apart. You can reposition your figure however you want it. If you wanted to put legs as arms and arms as legs, you could absolutely do that. It is really quite funny. Let's see. Yep, pop his head off. You could put his head on his leg there. It's just wild looking. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead. We'll build it the way that I would display it if it was in my collection. I would put this one, I'd say probably like right here. Now the pegs here are kind of bendy, so you probably have to be pretty careful not to just destroy the pegs after a couple of times of moving them around. You have to carefully put them in there. But as you can see right there, that's pretty cool. Now, he does have a blaster here. Let's put that blaster in his hand. And I like the way it kind of follows the shape of his arm like that. That's pretty cool. As you can see, these fall apart super, super easily. So they're not real tight joints, but they do have little movable joints there. So looks like another blaster here. Maybe we could do this one. We could put his arm up kind of like that and just have it be like a little, almost like a little bazooka. Would it go? I think it would go all the way through his arm. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. It goes all the way through his arm. So he basically has a little blaster now there. Especially that. I wish they'd made that just a little bit tighter. That would have been really, really good. We could put his little jetpack on him here. Let's see, his plunger. Maybe we'll put that in his hand while he's holding his blaster. That is really weird. And let's see, now this one would be able to hold some other stuff, but there's no real place on the backpack to do that. And look at that, I actually put that on backwards myself as I was putting it on there. So really kind of interesting. Now, let's do this. Let's put this in his arm over here. And we'll kind of do his plunger. Look at that. That would be hilarious. Sticking out like this. Now he lost his hand. So we'll put his hand in here. As you can see, guys, these pieces don't stay together great. So once you play with them a couple times, you better have an idea of how you want to leave it if you want to display it for good, because it does fall apart quite easily. Now, I just thought of something funny. Imagine if he did lose his legs. He could just maybe use his backpack here as a glider. Look at that. That is good stuff right there. All right, let's put that on. Let's put this on, and then let's get a look at that TV man. Now look at this, guys. Even with all of that stuff, he still stands quite well there. So very, very nice. All right, let's move on to this TV man right here. Now, I love the color of this one. This one's really cool. Some of the weapons look kind of like they're translucent, which is really neat. And I do like the packaging that you could just remove this plastic. Not a lot of little tie downs and things like that. Let's move him right over there and take a look at this TV man. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, he feels like his joint is a little bit tighter here if I wanted to remove it. Just a tiny bit, maybe. Now, I do love the look of this figure. Again, the legs are kind of loosey-goosey there, but what a cool look. Old CRT head going there. And the weapons you get with this one, you get a plunger. You get a blaster here. You get a hand blaster. You get two of these kind of translucent swords. And then, let's see here. Get rid of that piece of paper. We get another blaster. And then, it's like this piece right here. There's two of those. And then another connector piece in that purplish color. So really cool. Let's go ahead and build him out. Now these pieces, right away, my first thought was maybe like on his shoulder, like that. That looks pretty cool. Right. Oh, and you know what? I almost missed the most important part. He also Comes with this guy right here that does turn. It doesn't spin quickly, but it does turn. Now, that would be fantastic. Look at that. How awesome is that? Now, again, it doesn't roll well enough that you can just like roll them around easily, but it does roll around enough to just kind of move him. So very cool. If there was a way of holding him like this would definitely be the way I would want to display it. But until I could figure out a way to display it like that, I would be just as happy to go ahead and put his legs back on there and build him out with the stuff that he came with. Now, since he does not have a backpack, I feel like I could put this right there to kind of hold some of his accessories. As you can see, that arm fell off pretty easily there. So put that back on. Let's have him have a sword in one hand. So we'll do sword in right hand, and let's do giant blaster in his left hand. That is really, really cool looking. Now he does have these two little handheld blasters, so in lieu of not having a holster, you could always just kind of put them down like this. I mean, you could also put them in the back, but I think that's kind of cool looking, putting them right there. And then you've got another sword, so in the back where you've got this little connector, now it really would be pretty simple to maybe put that plunger just in enough to hold it, like so. And then maybe this sword could go straight out of the back even. Check that out. That is weird. Very weird. I guess I would put it maybe off to the side like this. Then he also still has the little wheel thing here. So this could absolutely kind of fit just like that. We'll put his arm back on there again. And then check that out. What in the heck? Now, you obviously don't have to put all the pieces on at one time, but look how cool it is when you do. And obviously, it goes without saying that all of these pieces are interchangeable between figures. Now, just this one sitting over on the side, you can see the joints are loose enough that that gun, the weight of the gun, made his arm fall down, and he's now using the gun to kind of rest on there. So they don't, again, hold their shape very well. If you put them up like this, that arm is so loose that eventually it is going to fall because of the weight. So if you wanted to display it permanently like that, you might be able to put a little glue or something in there depending on how you wanted to treat your figures. But very, very cool, guys. I absolutely love these mods. They are awesome. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do hit that like button, share the video even with a friend, and I will see you on the next great toy opening video. We lost another arm.